It is now time for the Royal Rumble! God, that feels good. Yes, the Royal Rumble is this Sunday. Actually, today. So, for this 30th annual Royal Rumble, I know it's not 30 years since the Royal Rumble, but this is the 30th one. I want to do something special. So, this is going to be my top 10 Royal Rumble matches. Now, to be clear, this is just about the Royal Rumble match itself, not any of the matches prior to it, though I probably will reference them for a few of these. Now, I rank these on enjoyability, as well as the context of these matches, as well as what they mean to me personally. And that's how I'm going to do this. So here we go. Number 10 is a tie, actually. Is going to be 2014 and 2015. This is a fascinating one for me. A lot of people go, oh, the matches suck. Wait. No, they don't actually. They're actually really good. 14 is better than 15, but it is interesting to note. I call these the bitch rumbles because the crowds they just bitch the entire time because they want their little internet bitch Daniel Bryan to be handed the Royal Rumble match. And it's kind of funny because when you look back on it now, you see that Daniel Bryan drew no money whatsoever, and not to mention he had to retire because he kept on getting injured. But just to see the matches themselves, they're actually kind of fun. 2014 is also where the start of Roman Reigns' escalation really being pushed towards the top once the Shield was going to be dissolved later that year. And people would say, oh, Bayley only got cheered on the end because then your Bayley wasn't going to be in that match. And then what Batista went, wait. No, actually. Well, go back and watch it. Every time he eliminates somebody, there's more cheers. People get behind him more. There's more of a build-up. The only time he gets booed when he eliminates Dolph Ziggler because Dolph Ziggler's another internet darling. But every time he keeps on eliminating people and ends up breaking Kane's single elimination record, he gets more cheers from the crowd. So the time it's just him and Batista, he's being cheered. It didn't even matter if Daniel Bryan was in that match or not. But fast forward a year, and Daniel Bryan is in the match, and he gets eliminated early. All the other people in the Rumble get booed because anybody tries to tell you differently is lying to you and themselves. I've said this before, but it still holds true. And it's kind of interesting to see Roman Reigns going from being really liked by the ignorant, whiny children to being shat upon because he's not Daniel Bryan. And the fact that CM Quitter went on to talk crap about him, and they have to now hate on Roman Reigns because they can't think for themselves. But if you watch their matches, they're actually a lot of fun. But I had to put them at number 10 because they're not as fun as some of the other ones. Number 9 is 2009. A lot of fun. This one was cool. Set up WrestleMania perfectly, and it has something in this that you rarely see in Royal Rumble, which is a faction working together perfectly. And that is Evolution. And because there are only 3 of them, it makes it better than it feels like the Nexus was in 2012, where you have 6 of them, and when somebody actually overpowers them, it feels like not as good as it was when it was just the 3 of them, and they teamed up. Not to mention, there's a great moment when The Undertaker shows up. Everybody just starts waiting for him, and it's really cool to see. Not to mention, there's a fascinating, I was just like, what the hell moment was when the Big Show does something that you would see something from like a Rey Mysterio or Dolph Ziggler, holding himself on the top rope and not hitting the floor. It's like, are you kidding me? That was really cool. Not to mention there was some other great moments that I can't really get into because I want to get through this. Number 8 is 2001. This one is very chaotic in a fun way. And this is the one where Kane established the record for most eliminations in a single Rumble with 11. And you kind of, when you watch it again, you're like, man, it's too bad he didn't end up winning that Rumble. But the way that the wrestlers kept on coming out, and the way that in the middle is just chaos with hardcore rules, basically a hardcore match, was kind of fascinating, kind of fun. Not to mention the involvement with Drew Carey is kind of funny, and his interactions with Kane. But all in all, fun Royal Rumble. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I gotta say, it's a lot of people's favorite, but I had to put it low on this one because there are just some that I just like a lot more. Number 7 is 1994. Yeah, there's going to be quite a few 90s and 2000, mid-90s and 2000, late 2000s on this list. And so this is actually mid-90s. 94, this is the one that is pretty fascinating to see because WWE basically had 2 big storylines going into the Rumble, which one was Lex Luger was trying to finally become No More Contender again after his blown shot in SummerSlam the previous year. Not to mention you had the storyline with Bret being injured earlier in the match after a tag team match with him and his brother Owen, and then Owen kicking his leg out from under him and betraying his brother. And that whole thing was really interesting. And what was great was the announcers really played up the fact that Bret was hurt, and at number 24, 25, a wrestler doesn't show up. And the announcer played it perfectly. Vince McMahon and $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase were saying, "Oh, that must have been Bret." And Bret wasn't able to make it into the Rumble match. And then at 27, Bret Hart limps through the curtain, and the crowd goes crazy. And Vince McMahon is, "It's Bret! It's Bret!" And it's perfectly done. And this is the only one where they're co-champions with Lex Luger and Bret Hart, because it was great because they both had really good storylines going into the Rumble, and now you get to see how those storylines progress into WrestleMania. And we all know what ended up happening if you'd watch WrestleMania. So, really good stuff, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. Number 6 is 2008. Now, one of the things I really liked is the beginning of this one, which is The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. Just like the previous year, it kind of whet our appetites for what we were going to see from these two the following year and then the year after that. And I talked about this in my Undertaker retrospective, but also there's some really cool moments like Jimmy Snuka, may he rest in peace, and Roddy Piper, may he rest in peace, kind of having a little old man's match in the middle of the Rumble, and the other wrestlers are just in the corners just watching this. CM Punk is even like laughing a little because he's like a kid, like, I can't believe I get to see this. And it's pretty cool. I like that. Not to mention, this one had one of the best returns that I've seen, and that was John Cena coming out at number 30. He had been injured the previous September, maybe even October, and people didn't think he was going to make it even to WrestleMania, but he somehow was able to recoup and come back for the Rumble. And when he comes out to number 30, Madison Square Garden just goes ballistic, and they just are cheering and screaming for him. But if you watch it, go back and watch it, they're happy to see him, but once he's getting towards the end of the match, they start turning on him mid-match. It's like the part of the internet whiny crybabies were like, "Wait, it's Cena, we must hate him," and they start booing him. It's really interesting to see, but the match is really good, and there's some really cool moments in that match. And the one part I hate, I gotta say, is having Hornswoggle eliminate The Miz. It was ridiculous, and I was really hoping that Mark Henry and Viscera would just, throw him over the top rope, maybe into the crowd. That would have been funny to me, but that didn't happen, unfortunately. And all in all, really fun Rumble, but didn't crack my top 5. So what did crack it? So tune in pretty soon. Don't worry, it won't be long. Where I give my top 5 Royal Rumbles. For this question, I just want to ask, what's your favorite return? Somebody coming back from an injury and returning at the Rumble, not before, at the Rumble itself, or surprise entrant like a Diesel and Booker T from 2011. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, and take care. See you soon.